October 2nd, 2019. Once again, we have an astonishing event, a major anomaly that should have blazed across the news channels and papers around the world. Let's take a moment to observe and consider the framework of what's happening here. We're talking about the extraordinary light source there in front of us. So what is it? It is an unidentified celestial body out in space in our solar system. In order to comprehend the magnitude of what is occurring, one has to keep reminding himself that the light we see there is not the sun. The evening sun is in the west, in the opposite sky from the direction we're looking. While we've noted that there is an anomalous celestial body and light object, it would be more accurate to say there are multiple objects, all of which are anomalous. On this evening of October 2nd, 2019, according to the known layout of our solar system, there should not be a light source and other celestial objects, such as we see right there. In effect, we're observing a situation that doesn't make sense. It's a serious perplexity. I'd like to bring in the video footage covering the morning that follows this evening event we've been observing. So here we are now at October 3rd, with sunrise just a few minutes away. With the rising sun in view now, there are a couple important observations to be made. Number one, a minute ago we were looking at this same horizon during an evening time frame, observing an extraordinary light source there. And now, with this additional view of the same location in the morning, we have the comparative sight of when the sun is actually there. All of this helps to solidify our grasp on the fact that something absolutely astounding is occurring here in our solar system. Another demonstration of these stunning celestial anomalies is seen as we observe this light area in the 30 minutes or so leading up to sunrise. The time here is 7:47 a.m. Let's back up to about 7:05 to observe the behavior of this pre-sunrise light. Notice the intensity and the containment of this light. It does not disperse gradually and gently across the horizon the way the twilight glow before dawn normally does. Naturally, we would presume this must be radiating from the sun, which will arise in about 25 minutes. Let's observe. Two things to notice there is the pulsing and surging of the light, and also we see that the light doesn't actually come up from below the horizon, which is where the sun still is. You can see that this large field of light is up away from the ground. Let's back up now to about 16 minutes before the sun first appears over the morning horizon. Notice that the body of light there is larger and more intense than even when the sun does come up. So if that light was somehow a byproduct of the sun, how can that be that it's brighter and larger when the sun is further down below? Well, the answer is that light is from an additional factor, a separate entity from the sun. And remember what it looks like when the sun does come up over the horizon. It appears so tiny compared to this field of light. The first response that comes to mind for me is, what's going on? What's going on? As for this big elephant in the room here, say hello to the Planet X Nemesis system. It must be understood, however, that in this event, we are seeing only an aspect or a part of the Planet X system. Nevertheless, we are seeing right there a major anomalous situation that seriously does not equate with the established classroom version of the layout and constitution of our solar system. So, bringing back the video we looked at earlier, how can there be a bright celestial body there at 6 o'clock in the evening in the same place where the sun is rising in the morning? Let's look at a few more situations that are occurring because of the colossal event that is unfolding in our solar system. Here we are at Nuevo Vallarta. The direction we're looking is west. Thus, we have a view here of the regular daily sunset. Let's watch the sun go down to observe what transpires after that. Okay, so just there we saw the last bit of the sun disappear below the horizon. The point being, the sun and that body of light are separate entities. There's one more thing I want to point out here, so we'll take a minute to watch the footage play on a bit further. The additional aspect is coming into view up here. Isn't that peculiar, that there is another light? So now we've got three. We've got the sun that's already down below. We've got this one above the horizon. And now a third separate area of light up here above. What are they? We know they're not the sun. We know it's not the moon. This is something entirely extra that goes unmentioned by the media and by the news, by NASA. It's right there, but nobody says a word.
Overnight, it seems like something changed. Something changed. Everything, 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 everything. Yeah, everything. It's long been said, the sky is red.
We've noted remarkable events in the evening time frame of August 17th here. Let's go now to the beginning of the day. There's some interesting things occurring there as well. So we'll just watch for a couple minutes and see what transpires. Now there's something that raises a question. Time there is 7:12 in the morning, and we've got this light here above the horizon. If you didn't know better, you could think it's merely the sunrise going on here. But, as you'll recall, just a minute ago, we were watching the evening footage from this same camera, observing the sunset. So here again, we have the same remarkable phenomena that is occurring more and more frequently and increasing in magnitude around the world. We're talking about the situation where there is a bright celestial body or light source shining from the west horizon in the morning. It's worth our time to just watch what this light does over the next few minutes. You have to wonder, what in the world is that? And as we encounter all the time now, it's displaying the abrupt surges of intensity and general fluctuations. Going back over the past decades and longer, is that normal in the day-to-day life on Earth, to have a bright, radiating body up in the sky pulsing and surging like that, as well as being in the time and place of the sky where there is no specific known celestial body that should be there? These are the facts. And the reason for all this anomalous material is the same conclusion that I'm always repeating, and that is, we are looking at the return of the Planet X Nemesis system. We're not saying that the light in view there is somehow containing the entire system. It's a part of, or a facet of, this mind-boggling entity in space that has returned to our neighborhood. About 10 minutes further on, this gets even more interesting. You've got to see this. Let's watch as the video capture from the morning of August 17th, 2019 plays on through. I'd like to try and isolate a couple things. Number one, just by being there, this entire illuminated mass is a major anomaly that could rightfully occupy the headlines of news broadcasts around the world. Next, notice this spherical body that's faintly evident there. This observation comes with difficulty, because the glimpses of it are brief and obscure. For me, it's like you can see it there, but you just can't get a solid view of it. So it's a vicious circle. You know it's there, but it won't quite reveal sufficiently to dispel the uncertainty that still prevails. So for the moment, our purpose is to simply note the appearance of it for later reference. Notice this area during the general playback of this footage, covering a span of 10 minutes or whatever. At times, the intensity of that core area of this light source gets quite impressively intense, especially when we bear in mind that there's not supposed to be anything there in terms of a planet or a sun or a comet. So the ever-recurring question in all of this, what is it? One final observation that I want to bring into focus is this. So again, we have a detail that looks like something round, something spherical, as in the way the moon looks round when we see it in the sky. Both views here are the same. I've included the smaller one so that while zoomed in on the upper left quarter, we can still see the time display, so it can be noted how much time is running by here. In other words, this round object is not just a still frame that's there 1 second and gone the next. It is visible for a sustained period of time. Let's sum up. First, let's get it through our head that the following conclusion points will be solid, plain fact, not theories, conjecture, and guesswork. We'll leave all that out. We're going to size up what we've got here, registering just the facts of what's in front of our eyes.